Of Lotha Iloi Hoho, Lotha Students Union, Lotha Youth Hoho, Woka District Gaunbura Association and VD Village Council Chairman Association in a joint statement asked the state government to clarify with regard to the June 10, 2022 letter to DC Woka and to verify and validate whether Lotha Hoho or the LBCA is involved in any ongoing case in any court of law. Muonnomo Kikon, while speaking at the Naga Students Federation felicitation of Naga toppers, stated that governmental institutions are not doing well as expected. However, the government has put policies in place to address the issue and North National Education Policy 2020 is reforming the education policy in the state. Inauguration of JK Tyre's first outlet in Dimapur took place at Vikeshe Road Kher Mahal with ex-MLA Kekaho Asumi invited as the chief guest. Kekaho stresses that companies opening up or extending their business in a state must know the corporate social responsibility and adhere to it. State Health Agency on occasion of National Doctors Day awarded 10 doctors from 10 districts as the best performing doctors under Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana at the Directorate of Health and Family Welfare. Price of commercial LPG cylinder has been reduced by Rs 198 with immediate effect, with 19 kg commercial LPG cylinder now set to cost Rs 2021 in Delhi. Hello viewers and good evening. You're watching English Primetime News with English Limchen. Now let's look at the details. The presidents of Lotha Iloi Hoho, Lotha Students Union, Lotha Youth Hoho, Woka District Gaunbura Association and VD Village Council Chairman Association in a joint statement sought clarification from the state government. The frontal organization asked the state government to clarify with regard to the June 10, 2022 letter to DC Woka. The organizations also asked the government to verify and validate whether Lotha Hoho or the LBCA is involved in any ongoing case in any court of law. The organizations further maintained that Lotha Hoho is the first guardian of its tribe and any authority it exerts over its jurisdiction was well intended for the welfare of its people and prosperity. Naga Students Federation on Thursday honored 69 Naga toppers in the HSLC and HSSLC examination at a felicitation program held at Arsempa Jotsoma. Notably, 3 Naga secondary examination toppers from Manipur were also felicitated. Nagaland Information Technology and Communication, Science and Technology and New and Renewable Energy Advisor Muonnomo Kikon, while addressing the gathering, urged the students to shine for Nagaland and make everyone proud with innovative achievements in the future. Meanwhile, Manipur MLA J. Kumosha also challenged the toppers to become ambassador of education. On the occasion of National Doctors Day, the State Health Agency of Nagaland has awarded 10 doctors from 10 districts as the best performing doctors under Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana at the Directorate of Health and Family Welfare. Reportedly, the names of the doctors, designation, specialty, hospital name and district includes Dr. Imkong Sanan, Senior Specialist, Surgical Oncology from District Hospital Woka, Dr. C. Nukzan Sangla, Medical Officer General GDMO House of Hope Tuensang, Dr. Shivosa Vise, Junior Specialist General Surgery District Hospital Pek, Dr. Chongya BL, Medical Officer General GDMO District Hospital Noklak, Dr. Aman Konyak, Senior Medical Officer Obstetric and Gynecology District Hospital Mon, Dr. Insalamba Chamir, Medical Officer, Anesthesiology, Lamcham Hospital, Mokokchung, Dr. L. Kiyotungo Yantan, Junior Specialist, General Surgery, District Hospital, Longleng, Dr. Zuchamo Paton, Medical Officer, Radiation Oncology, Naga Hospital Authority, Kohima, Dr. Holiba A. Anar, Medical Officer, General GDMO, District Hospital, Kifre, and Dr. Shirley T. Livon, Consultant, Radiation Oncology, CIHSR, Dimapur. Speaking at the occasion, Minister for PWD, Housing and Mechanical, Tongpang Uzukam, lauded all the doctors for their tireless service during the pandemic, fighting to save thousands of lives. Uzukam further said that this day is to acknowledge and recognize the importance of the doctors. Minister also informed that Chief Minister's health insurance scheme is in the pipeline, and once it starts implementing, the scheme will be a forward step towards universal health scheme, which will be beneficial to many. With the two upcoming medical college project, Uzukam stressed that the state is also slowly improving in health sector and hopeful that it will be improved drastically and will slowly come at par with other states. Meanwhile, at the program, short speeches were also delivered by the President of Nagaland Medical Council, Dr. Joyce Angami, and Secretary to Health and Family Welfare, Asangla Imti.
I would like to congratulate those award-winning doctors for your wonderful services. The best performing doctors under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. The Governor of Nagaland also acknowledges the reputation given by the department for your wonderful services. We wish the best and we hope to see you continue delivering your wonderful services to the mankind. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I had the privilege to associate and to work with many of you, many doctors. And so I know how you all are true.
The official inauguration of a non-profit organization, Miraculum Society, was held on Friday at Crescent International Hotel, Kohima. The organization was inaugurated by National People's President Dr. Andrew Ahoto. Miraculum Society aims at promoting and spreading education and help raise well-being of less fortunate sections of the society. The Miraculum Society was started by Miss Nagaland 2019, Viko Nosachu, and where she is also the chairman. Viko Nosachu, while speaking at the inaugural function, stated that the organization will provide opportunity for research studies and make findings available to people through educational seminars and meetings. Concurrently, the society will also coordinate with state and central schemes that are designed to meet requirements of communities. Chairman also stated that the organization will soon launch a creativity center for children in Noklak district, where learning materials will be made accessible to children from border areas.
The Miraculum Society Nagaland, it is our hope to help mankind and our state Nagaland towards goal making and empowering the young youths, not just women alone. The NGO vision purpose is to work in some of the most remote areas in the state and beyond the boundaries. The NGO mainly focuses on child support and education, youth engagement, and rural development. In fact, we have also started a project in Noklak called the Project CCC, Creative Center for Children Noklak, which further my fellow colleague will be speaking more about it. Nagaland is still being very new to this world, taking its baby steps each day, growing, learning, and falling at the same time. We have seen various communities coming together to accept changes, yet still wanting to stay very closely rooted to our culture and traditions. It is wonderful to see people coming together. to a movement where you can do so much in the very little ways of your own kind. Such as that, the main purpose of this NGO is to provide opportunities for study and research to make the findings available to anyone by arranging educational seminars and meetings, to also offer cooperation and assistance with schemes which are in accordance with object of society, whether such schemes are undertaken by the state or the central government, by public or other agencies. The main aim is to actively engage the youth in educational institution and not forgetting spiritual development. Also to promote cultural understanding amongst the people with such trust or societies. It is an outlet where people can contribute and help a group or certain societies who are in need of help. We hope that this NGO, the Miraculum Society Nagaland, will serve a lifelong ministry to our people. At the same time, to impact young minds, and as we conduct projects and programs around and across our state and even outside, we hope that we can have community participation, which is very important, so that this NGO will not just help in areas that matters, but also to teach compassion towards acceptance and love for mankind.
The inauguration of JK Tyre's first outlet in Dimapur took place on Friday at Vikeshir Road, Khermahal. The program, which took place at 3 p.m., witnessed ex-MLA Kekaho Asumi as the chief guest. Addressing at the program, Asumi stressed that companies opening up or extending their business in a state must know the corporate social responsibility and adhere to it. CSR, or corporate social responsibility, refers to the practices and policies undertaken by corporations that intend to have a positive influence to the respective society. It can be in the form of the companies helping the local people with its 2 to 3% of profit. Asumi further encouraged not to be fully dependent on government jobs. On the other hand, he also expressed gratitude for seeing progress in Naga young entrepreneurs and encouraged them to keep it going. Asumi stressed that Nagaland is recognized as the mini India due to various community, religion, local and non-local communities existing in co-harmony, while maintaining that Dimapur is also one of the fastest growing cities in India. Meanwhile, speaking at the program, Sales Manager Northeast Region Firoz Khan also mentioned that this is the first outlet of JK Tyre in Nagaland. It is to be mentioned that JK Tyre has been sponsoring Hornbill Rally from the year 2002. Notably, the program also witnessed talks on various features of the tyre in the market.
We need so many ingredients to build a good city. None way. Phale business community, apne khan shana entrepreneurs khan shana, kali Goodyear laka, MR, Bridgestone, aji JK Tyre, first of its kind, the first outlet in Nagaland. May not be Dimapur, the entire Nagaland. Am I right? Yeah. Entire Nagaland nase, anibo, someone will bring cinemas, multiplex, some will bring some aqua park. Inigawale city ekta bunabo. So I should say that entrepreneurs are doing exceptionally well, getting in good multinational companies, JK Tyres or whatever it is. If tomorrow we say, oh, only Nagas will do business, non-Nagas, you may live Dimapur, they will leave us high and dry. No, so I can so milap kurgena, kam kurle bahal hobo, Nagaland laga economy kiniga se, apni khan janya se, Nagas, for Nagas, we know how to spend, we are expert in spending, but we are very, very ignorant in saving. It was will be for business people like you all. JK Tyres, we want big radial tires. Your young people, my children, your children, they want big, big tires. So you'll have good sale. So that's all heads off to JK Tyres. They'll do good business. But at the same time, besides business, other multinational company, whether it's JK Tyres, you're opening your outlet for the first time. MRF hobi, JK Tyre, Vishal hobi. Now big bazaar to bon hoise, but still then, they are also earning. I will not scare you to suddenly close JK Tyre, but since you are going to earn, you should do something for the state.
Medium and heavy vehicles plying Dimapur Newland Road is set to be diverted for 8 days starting July 1. Notably, the diversion has been initiated due to repair works of damaged slab culvert Old Shoba village along Dimapur Newland Road. The PWD Road and Bridges Dimapur Division is set to undertake repair works, upon which commuters have been directed to ply via Patkai Sitekema C route during the said period. Under the directions of state government's notification on ban of single-use plastics, the Deputy Commissioner of Mokokchung, Shashank Pratap Singh, listed out prohibited single-use plastic items which have low utility and high littering potential. The DC informed that manufacture, import, stocking, distribution, sale and use of carry bags made of virgin or recycled plastics shall not be less than 75 microns in thickness with effect from September 30, 2022 and 120 microns in thickness with effect from December 31, 2022. Shashank added that non-woven plastic bags should not be less than 60 gram per square meters with effect from September 30, 2022. Also, manufacturing, import, stocking, distribution, sale and use of single-use plastics including polystyrene and expanded polystyrene commodities is to be prohibited starting July 1, 2022. The DC, in light of the directions, have urged all individuals, institutions and commercial establishments to strictly adhere to and encourage others to follow the same in their respective jurisdiction. While speaking at the Naga Students Federation felicitation of Naga toppers, advisor IT Science and Technology NRE Mohan Kikon spoke on the poor performance of government schools in the recently concluded HSLC and HSSLC examinations. Addressing the issue, Kikon maintained that governmental institutions are not doing well as expected. However, the government has put policies in place to address the issue. Kikon also stated that the North National Education Policy 2020 is reforming the education policy in the state. The advisor further stated that the state government has been carrying exercises on the employees sending proxy teachers, while also mentioning that some has already been terminated. The Power Department of the state, through a notification on Thursday, reminded all the cable TV operators and the telecom service providers in Dimapur to remove all the cables on electric poles within 3 days. The department further mentioned that the cables are obstructing the progress of the work for the shifting of existing 11 kV lines and LT distribution network to the newly constructed trunk lines in and around Dimapur. It further stated that no further notice will be served, but wherever obstructions appear in shifting the utilities, the cables will be cut off. Meanwhile, in connection with the shifting, the division informed that there will be localized power shutdown across Dimapur from July 2 to 6 from 3 to 8 a.m. and requested the esteemed consumers to bear with the department. The Eagles Club K Station Village under Tsiminu district held its 25th anniversary on Thursday at its village council hall in K Station with Joint Chief Executive Officer KVIB Nagaland A Kekia Rengma as its guest speaker. Rengma, while congratulating the club in attaining its 25th milestone, encouraged its members to be proactive in the society with utmost discipline. He further urged upon the youth not to develop the mentality of the loser's limp but make best use of time and contribute best. Meanwhile, youth pastor Nenshalo invoked God's presence, while ex-president of Eagles Club Mutia Wand and VCC K Station Nentilo Kad extended greetings. It may be mentioned that a special prayer for anniversary was administered by Reverend James Kat. Furthermore, the convener of the organizing committee briefed the gathering that main celebration of the club will culminate with the 11th Eagles Football Running Trophy during December 2022, which will be the silver edition, and furthermore mentioned that they are anticipating a group turn up from various areas including neighboring Sema and Lotha villages. Amid speculations that the much-awaited labour codes would be introduced from Friday, the union government is likely to take some time in introducing the laws, even as majority of states and union territories have framed rules on them. It can be mentioned that the Centers for Labour Codes on Wages, Social Security, Industrial Relations and Occupation Safety, Health and Working Conditions are likely to be implemented soon. Notably, once the new code comes into effect, companies can increase working hours from 9 to 12 hours. The new law suggests that firms with a 12-hour shift provide 3 weekly offs and that employees cannot be forced to work for more than 48 hours per week. Furthermore, the new codes that have reduced 240 working days in a year to just 180 working days. Basic salary under the new wage codes will be at least 50% of the gross monthly salary. Another important feature of the new codes is that company must pay full and final settlement of wages and dues within 2 days of an employee's last working day following their resignation, dismissal or removal from employment and services. Recently, Labour Minister Bhupendra Yadav exuded confidence, saying that the 4 codes may soon be implemented as around 90% of states have already come out with draft rules. Earlier, it was to be mentioned from April 2021. The price of commercial LPG cylinder has been reduced by Rs 198 with immediate effect from July 1. Notably, 19 kilograms of commercial LPG cylinder is now set to cost Rs 2021 in Delhi. It may be mentioned that LPG cylinder rate is revised monthly for all the states and union territories in India. Furthermore, with reduction in price, restaurants, eateries, tea stalls and others, which constitute the largest user segment, will now get some relief. The flood situation in Assam continues to batter the people of the state. The number of people who died due to floods and landslides in Assam rose to 159 as 8 people lost their lives due to floods and landslides. Notably, the new deaths have been reported from Naga, Lakhimpur, Barpeta, Bishwanath, Dhemaji and Morigaon districts of Assam. On the other hand, the Kachar district in Assam constitutes to be still affected by floods, whereby the Silchar town continues to reel underwater for more than 10 days. It may be mentioned that nearly 30 lakh people are still affected in 25 districts of Assam due to floods. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma held a virtual conference with the deputy commissioners of the flood-affected districts and directed them to pay rupees 3,800 to each family staying in relief camps. According to Assam State Disaster Management Authority, 2,608 villages under 75 revenue circles have been affected across the state. The Indian Army, Assam Rifles, Territorial Army, SDRF and NDRF continued their search operations at Tupul, Manipur, wherein 2 additional bodies of Territorial Army personnel were recovered during the early morning search on 1st July. Even synergized and joint operational task force is coordinating the efforts to remove the mud and boulders. A true wall radar is also being inducted by air to detect the presence of personnel buried in the debris. So far, 13 Territorial Army personnel and 5 civilians have been safely rescued. While mortal remains of 10 people have been recovered so far, the search for missing personnel will continue throughout the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday extended his greetings on the occasion of National Doctors' Day and said they play a key role in saving lives and making the planet healthier. Notably, India on Friday is celebrating National Doctors' Day to highlight their contribution to the nation in keeping the healthcare system running. National Doctors' Day, which is celebrated by the Indian Medical Association, has become more significant now as the COVID-19 pandemic has made people realize how much importance healthcare professionals hold. A total of 115 nomination papers for the presidential elections were filed, out of which NDS candidate Draupadi Murmu and opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha were found to fulfill all the requirements of a valid nomination. The announcement was made in a press briefing addressed by Rajya Sabha Secretary General PC Modi. PC Modi stated that out of 115 nominations, 28 nomination papers pertaining to 26 candidates were rejected at the time of presentation itself under Section 5B, Clause 4 of the Presidential and Vice Presidential Act 1952. The remaining 87 nomination papers pertaining to 72 candidates were taken up for scrutiny on Friday, and out of the 87 nomination papers taken up for scrutiny, 79 were rejected during the course of the scrutiny under Section 5B, Clause 1, Clause A, for want of requisite numbers of proposers and seconders, and under Section 5C. Meanwhile, after the last date for withdrawal of candidature on July 2, a list of contesting candidates containing the names of the candidates in alphabetical order together with their addresses will be prepared and published in the Gazette of India and also in the state gazettes. Modi also mentioned that the poll will be held on July 18 and counting of votes will take place on July 21. The monsoon session of Parliament is set to begin on July 18 and is slated to conclude on August 12. Notably, the session will coincide with the presidential and vice presidential elections. While voting for the presidential election is slated for July 18, vice presidential election is set to take place on August 6. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh is likely to merge his party Punjab Lok Congress with BJP soon. As per sources, he is likely to take a final call on this proposal after his return from London next week. Notably, on June 27, the PLC leader was discharged from a London hospital after undergoing successful spinal surgery. Earlier, sources had revealed that Prime Minister Modi had personally spoken to Singh and inquired about his health. The two men who beheaded a tailor in Udaipur were brought to Ajmer's high security jail on Thursday night. It is to be mentioned that beheading of tailor Kanhaiya Lal in Udaipur by two men for allegedly posting content in support of suspended Bharatiya Janata Party leader Nupur Sharma had sparked public outrage across the country. The assailants identified themselves in the video as Riyas Akhtari and Gusei Muhammad. In the video, Riyas was seen attacking 47-year-old Kanhaiya Lal with a sharp-edged weapons, while the other Gosei recorded the crime on his mobile phone. The victim reportedly had recently shared a social media post in support of Nupur Sharma, former BJP leader who had made controversial remarks against Prophet Muhammad. Notably, Riyas and Gosei were arrested from Bhim in Rajsamand district. Meanwhile, Rajasthan police on Wednesday said that the men accused involved in the killing of the tailor in Udaipur were in touch with Pakistan-based organization Dawati Islami, and one of them also went to Karachi in Pakistan in 2014 to meet the organization. The Pahanti rituals for the Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath began in Odisha's Puri today. Notably, the participation of devotees in the Rath Yatra has been allowed this time after a gap of 2 years following the COVID pandemic. Meanwhile, Odisha police have made top-notch security arrangements, keeping the expected crowd at the festival in mind. Furthermore, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also greeted the people on the occasion of Rath Yatra. It is to be mentioned that the Rath Yatra, also known as the chariot celebration of Lord Jagannath, Devi Subhadra and Lord Balabhadra, is the most prominent Hindu festival in the Puri city of Odisha. This festival takes place every year on the second day of Shukla Paksha in the months of June or July. This year, the festival falls on July 1. Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra gave another sterling performance on Thursday as he clinched a silver medal at the prestigious Diamond League met in Stockholm and broke his own previous record. In the Diamond League played in Stockholm, Neeraj threw 89.94 meters. While doing so, he broke his own national record, which was made on June 14. Neeraj won the silver medal in the PAF Nurmi Games in Turku by throwing the javelin 89.30 meters away. Chopra's throw was the tournament's record too, until reigning world champion Anderson Peters breached the 90-meter mark as he threw 90.31 meter on his third try to set a new meet record. The next new target for the Tokyo Olympics champion will be the World Champions in Eugene in USA starting from July 15 to 24. England and Wales Cricket Board announced on Thursday that batter Jos Buttler has been appointed as the captain of England men's team across both white ball formats. Notably, Buttler succeeded from Eoin Morgan, who retired from international cricket earlier this week. The ECB interim chairman Martin Darlow and interim chief executive officer Carl Connor approved the appointment and the recommendation by the managing director of England men's cricket, Rob Key. Meanwhile, Butler has been part of England's white ball team for over a decade. He played his first T20I game in 2011 and made his ODI debut a year earlier. Furthermore, the England men's selection panel will be announced for the squad for the T20s, T20Is and ODIs against India on Friday at lunchtime. Amid the escalated tension raised by suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's remarks on Prophet Muhammad, Supreme Court on Friday has criticized her as her remarks led to the massive protest in India and condemnations from Islamic countries. The court has asked Sharma to apologize to the country. Reportedly, the court has quoted 5 remarks on the matter. Firstly, the court has pronounced that Sharma is single-handedly responsible for what is happening in the country. Justice Surya Kant said that she and her loose tongue has set the entire country on fire. Justice Kant further said that the court has watched the TV debate on how she incited. It said that the way she said all this and later claiming she was a lawyer is shameful and should apologize to the whole country. The judge also asked on what has Delhi police done, what the TV debate was all about, and referring to Gyanvapi Mosque case, said why did they choose a sub-judice topic. Justice Kant further went on to say that when the police file FIRs against others, they are immediately arrested. But when it's against them, nobody dare to touch them. Lastly, he questioned what if Sharma is the spokesperson of a party thinking that she has backup of power and can make any statement without respect to the law of the land. Hence, the court also called Sharma an obstinate, arrogant character. Notably, the court was hearing a plea by Sharma to transfer all FIRs filed against her to Delhi. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. That's all we have in the bulletin.
New YY Dynamite Instant Noodles. It's extra spicy. Taste that will blow your mind.
अरे तूने अभी तक कुछ किया ही नहीं।
अरे ये तो लो क्वालिटी टंकी है।
होशियारी मत दिखाओ, दुकानदार ने 5 साल की गारंटी दी है।
अरे